The seventh area or issue is development of green schools. Changes in the school setting demonstrate the key concepts of quality environmental education. The Green Schools design approach describes environmentally sustainable schools. Now, green schools are not schools with trees and bushes and grass and lawns. Green schools are schools that are environmental friendly. We don't create a lot of garbage. We recycle a lot of things. We make sure that we reuse a lot of things in other areas and in different ways. That's what green school is. Of course, in the process, if there are some plants and trees, that would be wonderful, but that is not green. The green here refers to being environmental friendly, aware of how the environment is damaged and hurt, aware of how we can prevent further damage and hurt to the environment, and aware of solutions that can be worked out, found, and tried to fix the damage and hurt to the environment that has already happened. That is the concept of green schools. Well-designed green schools provide ample natural light. Classrooms with windows, open areas, natural light. You are not dependent on electricity and artificial settings like that. So natural light, instead of having boxed-in rooms, put in proper windows. Good indoor air quality and ventilation. That's cross-ventilation. If you have windows only on one side and not on the other, the air in the room is going to become stale. If you have windows open at both ends, or you have windows and a door open at one end, the air circulates, fresh air comes in, moves, and the air within the classroom does not become stale. So it provides for good ventilation also. They are water and energy efficient and use non-toxic, locally available construction materials and renewable energy. So, water and energy efficient, turning off lights when the classroom is empty, making sure that the gas usage is used appropriately, because schools may acquire and use gas, especially in high schools where science equipment and all is used, and you may need to do that. You need to make sure that these things are not left on aimlessly. If you have heaters in winters, you only heat them and use them to a certain level. After all, we don't want to sweat in the classroom in the winter. It may be cold outside, but it doesn't require you to sweat inside. It needs to be comfortable. Using local non-toxic materials, whatever is available, use that to construct the school building with. And focus on renewable energy. There are lots of renewable energy sources that are available today. Think, how would you invest in these kinds of renewable energy sources? Instead of simply using electricity and gas all the time, what else could you use? Could you use wind? Could you use biogas, for instance, and other renewable sources of energy? There are schools that can also invest in solar panels to some extent, at least make a beginning. When the beginning is made and young people see the difference it is making to the environment, I think they will learn to develop more such options in the future. The Green School in Bali, Indonesia is built almost exclusively with bamboo, a locally renewable resource. You don't need bricks, you don't need wood, you don't need concrete. The entire school is made from bamboo, a rich source, a rich supply that's readily available. It's a strong, sturdy, and so that's what they use. That's why that school is a green school. And it is important to understand that the green school is not just green in color. The bamboo is going to be brown, but it is still a green school. Why? Because the school is constructed and made from a locally available, renewable resource. If one or two bamboos fall off or break or get damaged, you can replace them easily. You don't need to go through a process to do that. That is what green schools are all about. The school's mission is to develop responsible green habits in its learners in an environment that models the principle of sustainability being taught. Again, what happens? You've learned this green school thing in school. How do you take it out? How do you carry it home? How do you transfer it beyond the school? Sustainability is being taught. You want this sustained. You don't want this to be a one-time, one-shot effect. You want this to work beyond for many years. And so sustainability and teaching sustainability is absolutely essential.